Welcome to Magic Hour. I'm your host, Curtis Hood.
And I'm Paul Chappell. What? Oh no, we're in Jumanji.
Oh my God. We're still in the movie.
Oh
no. Give me back. We got to change back. Anyway, I'm Paul Chappell, I think.
And I'm Curtis Hood.
And we are reviewing Jumanji, The Next Level.
Where we hack through the jungle and search high and low for the elusive movie that Paul will like.
I think we found it.
I think we found it, man. This was a good 2 hours of entertainment and laughter. And
perfect Christmas movie.
It was fun. I have to say that I was intrigued by the introduction of Danny Glover and Danny DeVito in this movie. But man, let me tell you, those two guys made this movie. Yep. They really. I was a little concerned with how these series, these multiple movies like this, where they just become almost factory production, just a cookie cutter of the previous one. And I didn't feel that way in this one, man. It felt a little. What's the word I'm looking for? It felt
original.
No, it felt a little cookie cutter because you.
Well, see, what is the component of a successful sequel? I'm trying to think of some of the most successful sequels out there, and they're usually pretty much like the first movie, except they'll throw in a few new things. Like let's say, James Cameron, he's probably the best examples of a director who does successful sequels. Aliens and Terminator 2. And if you think about those movies, what do they? Because Alien is pretty much the same story beats as Aliens, the first Aliens. In fact, if you think about the ending, she sucks the alien out of the airlock in both movies.
Right.
So there's a lot of the sameness about both movies, but at the same time, he brought it up a notch. So I felt in this movie, they did the same thing. They used a lot of what worked from the first movie, which is the character changes.
Mm-hmm.
You get a kick out of seeing these characters. The only problem with the last movie was that you didn't really know these young actors very well. So when they changed into The Rock and Kevin Hart, it wasn't as funny as seeing somebody as well as Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. When you saw those two change into The Rock, because they do a little differently in that in this movie, in the last movie they chose their characters. In this movie, Spencer, the nerd from the first movie, he puts the console that they destroyed from the last movie, he puts it back together again, and it's not quite working the way it's supposed to. So they get sucked in the game without even really choosing to be in the game. And then they're giving characters that they didn't have last time, except for the young redhead. What was her name? Martha. So, but anyway, when they first get into the game, first of all, they're all meeting together. Let's just go into what happens in the story. They're all meeting together, and they're all in different colleges and stuff. And Spencer and Martha are on a break, so he's kind of depressed about it. And he goes home to his mom, and his granddad is there, and he's kind of reminiscing about how he felt when he was in the game, because he was actually this.
He was the Rock.
He was the Rock. He was Dr. what was it? Proudstone. So
Eddie Proudstone.
He's lost that confidence that he had being that character, and he wants to get it back. So he goes down the basement, and you see he's recovered that console, and he puts it back together. So when his friends come by the next day to see him, he's missing.
And then they hear the
Yeah. They're like, oh my God.
Oh no.
But everybody gets sucked in. Everybody in the house, though, gets sucked into the game, including Spencer's grandfather, played by Danny DeVito, and Spencer's grandfather's friend, who's played by Danny Glover. His name is Milo.
Milo, right.
And Milo becomes Kevin Hart. And he's just this old black man who talks a little bit too slow. And
too much.
And too much. And Danny DeVito becomes Dr. Proudstone. And they don't know where Spencer is, so right off the bat, they've got a mission in trying to find Spencer. So it keeps your interest because you want to know what happens to Spencer. But until then, you have the hilarity of seeing The Rock act like he sounds like an old Jewish man.
Yeah.
Almost.
I
know Danny DeVito's
old
just
Jersey guy.
Old Jersey guy. And Kevin
got
Hart's playing an
Milo.
old black guy. So
you cannot not mention Jack Black and the way that he handled each one of these characters. I mean,
he's a Fridge, the big black football player from the last movie. He gets Jack Black's body this time, and Bethany doesn't even get sucked into the game yet.
Yeah, she's not
like,
in there yet.
You know, she's like standing outside in the house, like, what happened? I didn't get sucked into the game. So it's another intriguing thing that happens. So there was a lot of interesting things that they did.
So you actually, in this one, you have somebody on the outside trying to help rescue everybody too.
Right.
And Bethany goes and gets Nick Jonas's character.
Yeah, Alex. Played by Tom Hanks' son, Colin Hanks.
Yeah, Colin Hanks is in it again. And it was just a refreshing take on it.
But like I said, they used a lot of the same jokes, but they improved on a lot. They made more intriguing plot twist, and the villain was better. The Hound from Game of Thrones. This is a badass.
And he's playing Jurgen the Brutal.
He could have just been playing himself.
Yeah,
I mean, he could have just been playing the Hound.
I wish they would have thrown in the Hound's catchphrase.
No.
We're not going to say it here.
Hey,
comment down below if you know what catchphrase I'm talking about. That the Hound
had rated this movie R. But
they did a real good job. The comedic timing and the delivery. I think that this showed. A lot of people said about the Rock that he has one character. He always plays Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and it fits to whatever the writers have made him for every other movie he's done up to this point. He's just a big brute. But in this one, he had to do some acting,
right?
Because he played 3 different characters.
Yeah,
and he did it. He did a great job. You expect this type of acting from Kevin Hart because we all know he's a skilled actor. He's also a skilled comedian, but he's a skilled actor too. But to see The Rock do it, I was pretty proud of him, man. I thought he did a good job.
I felt though a couple times that they might have dubbed his voice.
Well,
you don't think, because we talked about this beforehand. You don't think they dubbed his voice?
No, because I think it was a little bit almost over the top.
Yeah, but you can tell sometimes when. And I've done dubbing. I did a dub on my one of my student films, and you can tell when something's dubbed because it's a little bit too clean and bright. Mm-hmm. And I just felt a couple of times and it didn't quite match his lips a couple of times. So I don't know.
Well, you can imagine though, also from the perspective of the actor, doing
because he had to
a constant. and then having to change it up too, you know, to sound like somebody
Yeah,
else.
he had to sound like Danny DeVito to get it to work, and I just felt like, oh, maybe they were like watching it in the editing bay and like, we can bring in a voice actor and get a little bit more of Danny DeVito. I don't know,
but
his acting was great though.
It was good. It was good, and I mean to break it down to exactly what happened in it. That's not really the point of what we're talking about today, because you know the movie just came out.
It's kind of irrelevant what the story is. They're just going on another adventure like the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched any of the Jumanjis, well, at least the last one, this was the same thing. They go in the game. They give them a task that they have to complete. There's different levels, just like in a video game. And if they achieve their goals, then they get to leave the game, but not until then.
Right.
And then, of course, they have lives on their, you know, their marks on their wrists.
And it's funny to see how they lose their lives, because you know in the movie all of them are going to have like one life, kind of like the last movie.
And the hippo made a reappearance.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. Well, looky here. Oh, it was good stuff.
And
man.
they did the whole smoldering joke.
Yeah, and how about the very end when Danny DeVito tried to pull it off?
He did pull it off.
He did pull it off.
Because the woman was like flustered. Woo.
She's like, oh my.
That was a great moment.
Danny DeVito stole this film.
Okay, I came from Karen Gillan and I got Danny DeVito.
She was certainly the most.
Dude, the woman is perfect. I was just watching her. If she hadn't been in this sequel, I wouldn't have watched it. I was like, nah, Curt, we're not doing that one.
Yeah,
but why, Clark? He'll give you, Clerk. We're not doing it. Karen Gillan.
I would have probably had to agree with you on that one. Then.
I gotta have some more kids. That's what I came in for, man.
And her little 6-pack and her tight little shorts.
Oh my God, she is perfect. God.
She's like, but she did a great job. Still, one of the things they did in this that I thought was pretty interesting is it seemed like when they were like practicing their powers, their skills, and especially her character when she was like, when they switched bodies again and the fridge got in her body, and he kept practicing her kicks. It looked just like a video game moves. You know, like what's one of the fighting games?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. It was like she kept doing that kick move. That was a cool aspect of it too, is that they found this area where there was this water, and if two people were touching the water and then they touched each other, they would swap again, which created an opportunity for these actors to change character again, you know. And I think they all handled it really well. And introducing in this one was actress known as Awkwafina. She plays Mean. And she did a brilliant job, man. Yeah. She played three different characters.
But she started off as Spencer because they're trying to find Spencer, and spoilers, you know, when they finally figure out who he is, he's playing this little, what's the word, Nebish Asian woman who's a master pickpocket / jewel thief, but
has allergies.
Yeah.
Her weakness was pollen.
And everybody got a new, the updated skill set.
Yeah, they got an additional skill, and some of them got an additional weakness.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2 additional weaknesses. And I think Jack Black, he's brilliant in pretty much everything he does. But, you know, how he self-deprecates in this, talking about how nobody wants to be this character. Why would anybody want to be this character?
They're in the middle of the desert, and his weakness is sand, heat, and endurance.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, great. This is going to work out just fine.
There were just so many jokes that landed. I don't think I've seen many comedies land so many jokes.
They really did. I mean, you had some major players in this, comedians. So,
but man, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was landing jokes. It was like
I'm telling
this
you, man,
director is Jake Kasdan. He's great. I looked at some. I thought I was kind of thinking this was like another case of nepotism because Kasdan, like Lawrence Kasdan, the guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back, I was just like, is this his son? And turns out they're, at least from what I read, they're not related. I could be wrong.
What else has he done, Jake Kasdan?
He's done some stuff. What is the movie he did? Because I did read his bio. He's done some other comedies though. He did Bad Teacher. Did he do Sex Tape? Really? He did Bad Teacher, Sex Tape. I seen Sex Tape. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story. He did.
That was funny.
Orange County. Haven't seen that. Zero Effect. He's done quite a few things.
Well, he did a brilliant job on this. He really did. And the backdrops.
Oh, wait a minute. His dad is Lawrence Kasdan.
Okay. Well, at least it's not.
His brother is Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote The Force Awakens.
Oh, wow.
I think he wrote The Force Awakens. So that's a talented family, but really, Lawrence Kasdan is his father. Yep.
Well, I mean,
nepotism, man. There's a lot of it in Hollywood. Not knocking him though. He did a great job.
So, what would you suggest to people?
Oh, this is
fun for the whole family.
What's your score?
I'm gonna go up there and.
We don't do many comedies, but I would give this a 5.
I would too. I would say 5.
There wasn't anything I didn't like. I mean, I can't think of one thing I didn't like.
The locations that they shot
locations were great.
Were great.
The characters were all great.
The CG was good because it was believable.
And the CG
to an extent. When you got a million ostriches chasing you through the desert.
The CG didn't need to be good because you're in a video game.
Right.
So, now if you saw something and it wasn't believable, that's okay. It's a video game. You're in a video game, so.
What that bridge sequence? That was pretty cool, man. With the monkeys.
There was a lot of cool like little action sequences.
Yeah, and there was a little ode to Indiana Jones there with Nick Jonas.
It's funny you should say that. A lot of that music, actually, I think they stole some music from Lawrence of Arabia. There was a lot of musical cues in that movie, and I'm like, it started off like a music I'd heard in Lawrence of Arabia, but then they would change it just a little bit to make it a little bit different. So,
well, what did you think of them firing up Guns N' Roses' "Welcome to the Jungle"?
Well, that was a little staple from the last movie. I think they kind of had to do. I loved it when he puts the boombox on the table. You knew exactly what was about to happen. And Karen Gillan gets to start kicking ass. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So freaking sexy, man. That woman when she fights. My favorite scene.
So this is definitely a take your family to the movies night. That it was clean enough that your kids can go.
Yeah.
But adult enough to where the parents will enjoy it as well. So I would definitely put that on your short list and go check it out. You got anything else?
No, I feel this is going to be the shortest review ever.
Well,
I feel like I'm shortchanging this somehow. But there's really not much more to
bad
say.
To point out.
Yeah.
You can only say so much about a movie without spoiling it.
This is
all
true.
The pieces.
This is true.
And we don't want to do that because this will drop pretty close to its premiere, so we don't want to ruin the whole plot of the movie.
That's true.
So go see it. Take your kids, take the wife, and we both gave it a 5. I think this is our highest rating that we collectively done for any movie. So you can take that how you will. But we appreciate you coming by. And listen, guys, we need you to drop comments down below and just let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you like and what you want to see us do in the future. And we'll see you on the next video.
I heard there's a movie called Star Wars something coming out. I'm not sure.
I've heard some rumblings about it. I don't think it's going to be.
Probably going to be terrible.
Oh, God. You know, we've already got a big plan for that one. So come back. What, next week is it?
Next week.
Come back next week, and we will have our Star Wars review with additional guests.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We'll see. And thanks for watching. We will see you when we see you.
Right, guys.